U.S. Army commercial goes a little quotations woke, according to many. The Marines actually do something smart. They contracted this out. There was no way any Marine actually came up with this. I'm sure there's some kind of company that produced this video. But that is important because as we have transitioned over the past couple years into this criticism against the military's quotations going woke. Now, it looks like there were a lot of people earlier this year that were very upset over a U.S. Army commercial that was a little bit of a debacle in regards to this girl named Emma that was in the Army that had two moms, and she was saying how this was her calling. There were other episodes to this series of recruiting videos that were based on a cartoon series, and it looks like those were overshadowed due to this outrage over Emma's one particular video. Now, we all know that recruiting is a difficult job for anybody, especially in today's current climate. Now, as that has come about, it looks like the Army has tried to resort to various other ways, just like every other branch is trying to find ways, and even going as far as making esports gamers, and that got canceled because somebody had an insensitive Hiroshima reference, and then they were supposedly giving away Xbox controllers that they never did, and then allegedly they were trying to censor people for freedom of speech. So this new way of trying to adapt to this younger audience is getting very difficult and is a very hard thing that they have to tread lightly. And this is a vast contrast against what we saw post 9/11, these very tough and motivating all you can be kind of thing, where it's like that is not working. The patriotism that was there during that era does not live and stay with this new generation as it did for people like myself that saw everything happen on that day. I've always said Marines are good at one thing, and that is recruiting.
It's not just the ships, the armor, or the aircraft. It's something more.
They're guaranteeing one thing to you, that you will earn that title of Marine if you pass your Crucible and boot camp and you get your Eagle Globe and Anchor and you cry your eyes out like a baby. And they learned from the Army, and that is because they've come out with a new recruiting video, which you can tell that they understood the lesson as they were moving forward with this commercial. I'm not going to hold you up any longer. Here's a commercial right here.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
They've also had some cringe stuff too, like slaying dragons, climbing rocks, and things that I would say don't really stand up the test of time in 2021, but that is not where this new commercial stands. If you guys like these videos, please make sure you guys hit the like button. That way it does help this video get pushed a little bit further for other people to see it. On top of that, if you want to stay here for more videos, you're going to just hit subscribe and be notified when I do publish a new video as well. Taking away from this commercial, I can only say that they understood the audience and they understood the goal finally of Marines. Obviously, you're looking at your football players, your basketball players, your people that are very intensive in their regiments to work out and do love physical challenges and like being the best of the best. That's what the beginning of this message says. And that is where they understood that they can't not appeal to those people. They understood that they understand there are people from these walks of life that are going to come to the Marine Corps because of this heritage and legacy and things like that. And it shows that it can build people, and you can have a lifelong skill of being a Marine and taking those things with you and performing outside of the Marine Corps even, which I thought was a really good foresight here. And lastly, it pans to this girl that's a darker skin complexion. We don't know. I'm not going to go into that. Doesn't even matter, because I'm going to say it was the perfect subtle touch to just say our next generation could be a female, could be a different race, could be a different background, and still be in the same community. Also, on top of that, there were female Marines that were being depicted throughout this entire video, even in the beginning of it, as you saw them running around in various clips there. And I look at this now and I can just say in my head, like, this is what the Army was trying to go for, but they didn't get there. And I think the main thing is because the Army version of this type of messaging was a little bit more forced and was so segmented into this one particular story, where I think this gave you a good enough insight with just one video, not having to cover all 5 or 6 different soldiers talking about their story. It was very concise. Sometimes less is more. I always love reading the comments as well here, just to kind of see what is being said, because I think a lot of these echo the same sentiments that I have as well when I was watching this. Leland Miller says, it's like the Corps had a brainstorm that started with, how do we send the same message the Army tried to do, but in a way that actually works? Folge says, a neighbor of mine who's a vet would always say that commercials is where all the funding goes to. Good ad though. Louis Tasso says, meanwhile, the next Army commercial will be, this is Blaine. He has not one but 2 dads, one of the Caucasian and one of the Afro-American races naturally. His adopted Asian sister, Joan, is married to the other Hispanic wife, Mary. Together, they give Blaine the courage to sacrifice this dislike for the color green and overcome it to join the Army. And last one here is Jared Ackerman that says, Marine Corps finally acknowledges that they keep your soul forever, Semper Fidelis. So I thought those comments were worth reading, kind of talking and sharing about it as the discussion will continue. If you'd like, please let me know what you guys think about this commercial as well, or recruiting commercials in general, as I know some of you guys have been around the block as long as I have and have seen everything under the sun, from the Emma commercial to very motivating or maybe even very classic old Marine Corps commercials as well. But as always, if you guys do like what you see on this channel, you can always support over at patreon.com for special perks and benefits. Also, on top of that, you can support at the YouTube join button below this video as well for special perks and benefits here on YouTube. As always, if you guys have questions about this or anything else, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.